When Mo Tiancheng bought a first-class plane ticket for Lin Xiu, he also bought me a hard-seat train ticket, 30 hours. On the phone he said, "For someone of your background, a train is enough, don't waste money." I looked at the purchase alert from the bank on my phone, 2 first-class tickets. Unit price 12,800 yuan, charged to my black card supplementary card. I laughed. The man probably forgot that I invested 60% of Tiancheng Realty's funds, his house, car, company, even the tailored suits he wears, were all bought by me. Beijing West Station waiting hall. The PA system was announcing delays. K507 delayed by 2 hours. I sat on a cold metal bench, surrounded by migrant workers, women with children, and elderly people carrying woven bags. The air smelled of instant noodles, sweat, and toilet disinfectant. My phone vibrated. I looked down and saw it was a consumption alert from my bank app. "Dear Black Card ending with 6688. Your secondary card spent 12,800 yuan at 1532 Merchant China Southern Airlines." I stared at the screen and another text message came in. "Dear Black Card ending with 6688. Your secondary card spent 12,800 yuan at 1533 Merchant China Southern Airlines too, both in first class." I opened the WeChat message 10 minutes ago from Mo Tiancheng. "Xiyu has to return to Hangzhou temporarily. I bought her a ticket. Don't be melodramatic either, it's just a train ride, experience a bit of life." 2 first-class tickets. He bought one for himself as well. I looked up at the electronic board. In the waiting hall, K507 hard seat, 30 hours and 21 minutes to Hangzhou, fare 217 yuan. My phone rang again, this time a call. Mo Tiancheng. "Have you arrived?" His voice was casual with the airport VIP lounge announcements in the background. "Running late, still waiting." "Fine. Then you wait patiently. Xiyu and I will go to the lounge to get something to eat. She's feeling a bit unwell today." He paused. "Oh, and I used your card a moment ago to buy 2 plane tickets. Don't read too much into Shiyu's. She's just a regular friend I'm helping out, an ordinary friend helping to buy a first-class ticket." There was a 2-second silence on the other end of the line. "Shen Qingwan, what do you mean? Do I, Mo Tiancheng, need to spend your money? My company makes over 1 billion yuan in revenue a year. Do I need this little from you?" I laughed. "Annual revenue in the billions. Among those billions, 900 million is what I invested. I don't mean any offense, you go ahead. I'm telling you, don't snub me. Xiyu is my college classmate. She's in trouble now. Is it a problem if I lend her a hand? You're such a small-minded person with a narrow vision. No wonder you can only be a junior consultant at an investment company." I lowered my head and looked at the hard seat ticket in my hand, 217 yuan. "Mo Tiancheng, last time you said the company had cash flow problems and asked me to invest another 50 million. Where did you use that money?" "Of course it's about business operations. Why are you asking? You don't understand business." "I don't understand, but I can see every cent in your account." "Shen Qingwan, are you auditing my accounts?" His voice suddenly rose. "I didn't check. These are transaction records automatically pushed by the bank. First-class flights, 5-star hotels, luxury goods. In the past month you charged me 12 million. That was for company entertaining. Don't you know what commercial socializing is? When I meet clients, am I supposed to make them sit in economy?" Shen Qingwan, can you have any perspective? With your attitude you're doing investment work. No wonder your firm won't promote you. I take a deep breath. 3 years ago, I approached him as an ordinary investment advisor because I saw his commercial potential. I personally invested 30 million in him and later, through Dingshan Capital channels, injected funds successively, totaling more than 500 million. All the money was mine. Dingshan Capital was my family business to begin with, but I never told him. In his eyes, I am just an ordinary white-collar worker, earning 20,000 a month, living frugally, and a foolhardy woman who loves him wholeheartedly. "Fine, I won't say it anymore. You busy yourself." "Wait a moment." His tone softened a little. "Qingwan, I didn't mean it that way, you know. The company is negotiating a big project lately. The pressure is high. Xiyu just got divorced and she's in a bad mood. As a friend, I'll keep her company. Don't overthink it. When I get back, I'll spend quality time with you." "Okay. By the way, isn't the limit on your supplementary card almost used up? I just tried to swipe and it showed insufficient balance. Tomorrow, go to the bank and raise the limit." "Okay." I hung up the phone, fingers hovering above the phone screen. In the bank app on the secondary card management page, the red button says freeze additional card. I didn't press it. Now isn't the time. I want him to spend first. Spend as much as possible. Spend until he thinks he owns the whole world, and then I will Personally take everything away, item by item. The train arrived. I carried a canvas bag onto the train, found my seat by the window in the middle of a 3-person row. On the left was a sturdy man weighing about 200 jin, and on the right a young mother holding a child. The carriage was packed with people. The aisle full of standing tickets. I sat down and the elbow of the man on the left had already crossed over the armrest while the child on the right was crying. The phone vibrated again. Mo Tiancheng sent a photo taken on a plane in first class with wide seats, champagne, and half of Lin Shiyu's face in profile. Caption: First class is so comfortable. Shiyu says she's never sat in such a good seat before. How about you over there? Take a picture so I can have a look. I raised my phone and took a photo of the carriage, sent it over. He replied with one character, fuck. Then he sent another, can't you upgrade your cabin for yourself, aren't you ashamed? I replied, 217 yuan, pretty good. He didn't come back anymore. The train started. I leaned back against the hard chair, closing my eyes. Outside the window was Beijing's nightscape, neon lights, tall buildings. Then it slowly turned into a vast, dark field. The child on the right was still crying, a young mother frantically soothing him. Powder spilled all over the floor. The snoring on the left has already started. I take out my phone, open the Notes app and start listing things. First, freeze all secondary cards, set the time for 3 days. Later, second, notify the legal department to prepare for terminating the investment agreement. Third, contact Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan to short Tiancheng real estate. Fourth, find Lin Shiyu. I wrote the fourth point, then deleted it. No need to look for her, she will come forward on her own. This kind of woman is more than a shark when it comes to the scent of money. The train rattled and clattered, the lights in the carriage were halfway dimmed, and most people began to sleep. I couldn't fall asleep. My phone screen lit up. It was a spending alert from the bank. Dear Black Card user ending in 6688, your supplementary card was charged yuan 5,888 at 2217 Merchant, Hangzhou Shizi Lake Four Seasons Hotel. Booked a room. I stared at that text message, the corner of my mouth slowly lifting. Swipe away, swipe hard. This is the last time you'll be using my money. I shoved my phone into my pocket and leaned my head against the window. The glass was cold, reflecting my own face. 3 years ago, I appeared before him as an investment advisor. He looked down on me and said, someone like me wasn't worthy of doing business with him. Later I invested 30 million in him in my own name. And his attitude changed. He started calling me Qingwan, invited me to dinner, and gave me gifts. Later still, I helped him secure a 500 million investment for Ding Sheng Capital. He knelt and proposed to me, saying I was the most important person in his life. On the day we registered our marriage, he tore up the marriage certificate in front of me and said, Shen Qingwan, don't think that marrying me gives you a claim on my property. No one is going to take anything that belongs to Mo Tiancheng. He doesn't know that his things were mine to begin with. The train kept heading south. I closed my eyes and counted down in my head. 3 days later, the game begins. Four Seasons Hotel Hangzhou at Westlake. 2:00 a.m. I stood in the hotel lobby wearing a set of athletic clothes I had casually bought after getting off the train, hair pulled back with a hair tie, barefaced. The front desk girl looked at me with a wary gaze. Ladies, is there anything I can help you with? Which room does Mo Tiancheng stay in? Sorry, we can't disclose guest information. I pulled out my ID and a black card, the primary card, my name, my card, a single day spending limit of 5 million. I'm his wife. The one who swiped the card. Help me check which room he opened with my card tonight. The young woman at the front desk glanced at the black card and her expression changed. Please wait a moment, Mr. Mo is staying in room 3208. Open another one next door. Certainly, room 3206, I'll check you in. I took the room key and went upstairs. The corridor was covered with thick carpet, muffling every footstep. I walked to the door of 3206, swiped the card and entered, then stood by the door with my ear against the wall. A faint sound came from the next room, a woman's laughter, very sharp and coquettish, and water sounds, probably the tub draining. I pulled out my phone, opened the recording app and then dialed the bank's customer service number, enabling speakerphone. Hello, how can I help you today? Please suppress the loss of a black card. Tail number 6688, primary card. Card holder is Shen Qingwan. ID number 330 asterisk 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 asterisk. Okay, we are verifying your identity. Identity verification successful. May I confirm that you want to block this card? After blocking, all supplementary cards will also be invalidated. Yes, okay, the loss has been reported and is in effect. The new card will be mailed within 3 business days. Thank you. I hung up the phone, then he leaned against the wall and waited. Less than 30 seconds later, there was a sound of something being slammed from the next door. What's going on? Mo Tiancheng's voice came, sharp and furious. Tiancheng, what's wrong? Lin Shiyu's voice was teasing. Can't swipe the card anymore, damn it, they say Theus invalid. Did your wife freeze the card? Does she dare? She earns only 20,000 a month, where would she get the nerve to freeze my card? It must be a bank system issue. I'll go curse at them tomorrow. What about tonight's room charge? I just ordered the spa and food and drinks, it adds up to over 20,000. I had someone bring money over, don't worry. I heard the sound of him making a phone call, calling the assistant, calling friends, calling the company's finance department. What, you're broke there too? Didn't I just transfer 5 million to you last week? Mr. Wang, could you lend me 100,000? First, it's urgent, I'll pay you back tomorrow. Mr. Li, I've run into a bit of a problem here. Call after call went out, call after call was refused. I heard his voice growing more and more anxious, more and more panicked. In the end, he called the hotel front desk. I'm a guest in room 3208. Your system is malfunctioning, my card can't be charged, please put it on my bill and I'll settle it tomorrow. Sorry sir, your room balance is 23,800 yuan. According to policy, you need to settle the arrears before you can continue your stay. I told you it's a system malfunction. Sir, your supplementary card has already been reported lost by the primary card holder. This is not a system fault. Silence, a very long silence. Then I heard his voice, lowered and filled with murderous intent. What did you say? Who reported it lost? Main cardholder MS Shen Qingwan. What right does she have to report it lost? That is my card. Sir, ownership of the supplementary card belongs to the main cardholder and the main cardholder has the right to report it lost at any time. May I ask if you can check out now? If you cannot, we will need to ask you to check out. You dare to drive me out? Do you know who I am? I am the CEO of Tiancheng Real Estate. Sir, regardless of who you are, hotel rules are rules. You have 10 minutes to settle the bill, otherwise we will ask security to assist you in checking out. I heard Lin Shiyu's voice change, no longer coquettish but sharp in questioning. Mo Tiancheng, you can't even produce 20,000. Didn't you say your company earns hundreds of millions a year? Shiyu, let me explain, this is a bank issue. Explain what? You can't even pay the hotel room fee. What grand pretenses are you wearing? I must have been blind. What do you mean? What do you mean, Mo Tiancheng? If you don't have money, just say so, don't make a scene here. I, Lin Shiyu, don't want to be kicked out by security with you. I heard the slam of the door, high heels tapping on the floor growing more distant. Then came Mo Tiancheng's voice on the phone calling me. My phone rang and his name was on the screen. I didn't answer. He called 3 more times and I still didn't answer. Then he sent a WeChat message. Shen Qingwan, are you crazy? Unlock the card for me. I didn't reply. Another message. Where are you? Wait for me. Another message. I'm warning you, if you don't unlock the card, we're done for. I looked at the screen and typed. Done, fine. Sent, then turn off the power. The neighbors were quiet. For about 5 minutes I heard him open the door and go out, his footsteps heading toward the elevator. I opened the door. The hallway was empty. Arriving at room 3208, the door was open, and it was a mess inside. The bed sheets were torn to the floor, a bath towel was tossed in the corridor, and on the coffee table were 2 champagne flutes and an unfinished bottle of Dom Perignon. There was half-eaten caviar and foie gras on the room service trolley. I took a photo, then I went downstairs. In the lobby, Mo Tiancheng was standing at the front desk, wearing the hotel's bathrobe. His face ashen. The receptionist girl wore a professional smile. Sir, if you cannot settle the bill, we need you to leave your ID as collateral. My ID is in my room. How can I fetch it if you won't let me go up? We can fetch it for you, but you need to pay a 200 yuan service fee first. 200 yuan? Are you guys stealing money? Sir, this is company policy. I stepped out from the corner. Mo Tiancheng's face changed in an instant when he saw me, from anger to shock, from shock to fear. From fear to a grim, savage look. Shen Qingwan. He rushed over and grabbed my arm. Was it you who did it? Are you fucking crazy? I glanced down at his hand. There was still unwashed caviar between his fingernails. Let go. You unlock that card for me now. I said let go. He squeezed tighter, his fingernails digging into my flesh. If you don't understand, I'll make sure you can't walk away with a full stomach. I looked up at him and smiled. Mo Tiancheng, do you know how much a night at this hotel costs? Don't you dare change the subject on me. 3208 Lakeview Suite 800 per night. You ordered 2 bottles of Dom Perignon 800 per bottle, caviar set 800, spa service 800 plus service charge, a total of 600. So what? No, it's nothing. I just want to tell you 600 is the last time you'll be using my money. I shook off his hand and took a 100 yuan bill from my pocket, placing it at the front desk. This is his service fee, help him take his ID card down. Then I turned around and walked out. Shen Qingwan, stop right there. I didn't stop, he chased me out and grabbed me at the hotel entrance. What exactly do you want? I turned around and looked at him. The bathrobe had come undone, revealing his boxer briefs with leg hair on his calves and hotel slippers on his feet. A mess. So embarrassing. Mo Tiancheng, I have a question for you. What is it? When you bought a first-class cabin for Lin Xiu, did you ever think I was sitting in a hard seat? He paused for a moment, then angrily and shamelessly. Just for this, you would stop the card over this little thing. Shen Qingwan, are you sick? Trivial. Of course it's trivial, it's just a plane ticket. What does it matter to you? You earn 20,000 a month. What's wrong with sitting in economy? You were always that kind of person. Pretending to be an heiress. What kind of noble lady are you? I nodded. Alright, then I'll ask you again, the 120 million yuan you swiped from my card, is that trivial too? That was for company operations. Immersive translate, last month's revenue for Tiancheng Real Estate was negative, and your so-called operations involve you staying in a 5-star hotel with your white moonlight, buying luxury goods, and traveling the world. His face paled. How do you know the company's revenue? I don't just know the revenue, I also know there are only 83,000 in your account. Last month you embezzled 20 million from the company's accounts. 15 million went to the Macau casino and was lost, leaving 5 million which you transferred to Lin Xiu's account. His face drained of color. Did you check my accounts? I said, I can see every penny in your account. Shen Qingwan, you're invading my privacy, I can sue you. Sue me, fine. Perfect timing, I'm suing you too. Embezzlement, commercial fraud, transferring assets during marriage, pick one, which shall we start with? He let go of my arm and stepped back. I looked into his eyes and spoke word by word. Mo Tiancheng, I give you 3 days to return every penny you took from me, not a single cent less, otherwise, you will know what it means to wish you were dead rather than alive. You're crazy, you've completely lost it. I'm not crazy, I'm awake. I turned and walked toward the roadside, stopping a taxi. Before getting in, I looked back at him. He was still standing at the hotel entrance, his bathrobe blown open by the wind, his whole body shaking like sifted bran. By the way, Mo Tiancheng, what is it? You just said if I don't clear the card, both of us are finished. I smiled. You're right, we're finished. The taxi drove away, and I saw him kneeling on the ground in front of the hotel through the rearview mirror, his bathrobe stained with muddy water. I pulled out my phone, turned it on, and sent a message to the Legal Affairs Department. Let's begin. Hangzhou Ding Sheng Capital Branch, downstairs. At 8 in the morning I walked out of the office building. The sky was laden with heavy dark clouds and the air was stifling like a steam box. Mo Tiancheng stood at the building entrance in a wrinkled suit, his tie askew, his eyes rimmed with red. When he saw me he came rushing over and with a thud dropped to his knees. Qingwan, I was wrong, I really was wrong. The office workers around stopped to watch the commotion. Someone pulled out their phone to take photos. I looked down at him. Why are you kneeling here? Please forgive me, last night's affair was my fault. I shouldn't have taken Xiu to the hotel, I shouldn't have spent your money, I shouldn't have let you take the train, it's all my fault, give me a chance. Didn't you say last night that we're finished between us? That was just angry words. Qingwen, you know my heart only has you. Xiu is just an ordinary friend. I really have nothing with her. Nothing. You booked a hotel room with a big bed and you tell me there's nothing between you two. He was startled for a moment, then began to kowtow. I was really wrong, I'll do anything you want, please unlock the card, the company is about to pay salaries, there is no money in the account, hundreds of employees are waiting to eat. I crouched down and met his gaze eye to eye. Mo Tiancheng, your company's salaries, why should I be the one to distribute them? You are a company shareholder. I am a shareholder, not an ATM. The money I put in is for projects, not for you to support women, gamble, or squander. His face twitched. Qingwan, I know I'm a jerk, but You can't pull out now. The company is at a critical moment. If you pull out, the entire project will fail. Hundreds of people will lose their jobs. Can you bear to that? I can't bear it. You, Mo Tiancheng, did you forget what you said yesterday? You said my background is bad. I only deserve a hard seat. You said I have a small mind, a narrow heart. You said I earn 20,000 a month, not qualified to manage you. I take out my phone from my pocket and open a recording. Shiyu is my college classmate. She's in trouble now. What's wrong with helping her a little? You are just petty, with a small mind. No wonder you can only be a small advisor at an investment company. His face paled. Another recording. Shen Qingwan, what do you mean? Do I, Mo Tiancheng, need to spend your money? My company's annual revenue is over 100 million. Is this small amount worth it to you? Another recording. Can't you upgrade your own class? Is it embarrassing to you? His lips started to tremble. Qingwan, you. Did you record? I didn't just record, I also have the records of you transferring funds from the company account. The receipts of your expenditures at the Macau casino and the contract for the house you bought for Lin Xiu. I pulled out a file from the canvas bag and threw it in front of him. Inside this are all your 3 years of expense records, every single one of them clear. How much you spent, where you spent it, when you spent it. It's all there. He opened the file bag, his hands shaking. 30 million, how could there be 30 million? You average 80,000 per month on my card, 3 years. Comes to 28,800,000, add the 40 million you embezzled from the company, total 68,800,000, you lost 15 million in Macau last year, and another 8 million this year. And also you bought Lin Xiu a house in Hangzhou, full payment of 12 million, you bought her a car, a Porsche Cayenne, 8 million, you took her to travel to 12 countries, first class, 5-star hotels, total expenditure about 6 million, he slammed the file bag on the ground, stood up, and the expression on his face changed from fear to anger. Shen Qingwan, what on earth do you want? You pull these things out, are you trying to threaten me? Not a threat, a notice. What notice? Just a heads up, I've applied for property preservation with the court. All of your assets, including the shares of Tiancheng Real Estate, your house, and your car, have been frozen. He stiffened completely. You, what did you say? I'm telling you, all of your current assets no longer belong to you to manage. The court will determine clearly which things you earned and which were bought with my money, what should be mine. I won't give up a single cent. What should be yours, you won't be able to keep either. On what grounds do you freeze my assets? That's my company, my house, your company, Morjin Cheng. Mo Tiancheng, 60% of the funds for Tiancheng Real Estate come from me. 80% of your shares were bought with my money. The down payment on the house you live in was paid by me, and so is the monthly mortgage. The car you drive was bought by me. The clothes you wear were billed on my card. I stood up, looking down at him from above. What do you have that's your own? Tell me. He opened his mouth but couldn't speak. The sky began to rain, first 1 drop, then 2 drops. And then it turned into a torrential downpour. The people around dispersed and took shelter from the rain inside the building. Mo Tiancheng was still standing in the rain, soaking wet all over, his hair plastered to his scalp like a drenched kitten. Qingwan, his voice changed with a sob. You can't treat me like this, I'm your husband. Husband? What did you say when you tore up the marriage certificate? You said, Shen Qingwan, don't think you can take my assets just by marrying me. What belongs to Mo Tiancheng? No one can take away. I was drunk at the time. You aren't drunk, you're perfectly sober. From the very beginning you've been calculating me. You think I'm just an ordinary office worker. You think I'm easy to deceive. You take my money to support other women, and you even make me sit for 30 hours in hard seats. The rain falls harder and harder. He knelt in the rain, water pooled beneath his knees, the suit clinging to his body, looking as pathetic as a dog. Qingwan, I beg you, one more chance, just this once. I've given you 3 years. I'll change. I'm really changing. I'm cutting off contact with Xiu. I've sold the house to return your money. I'm willing to do anything. You're willing to do anything? Yes, anything. I smiled, took a piece of paper from my pocket and handed it to him. Sign it. He took it, glanced at it, and his pupils suddenly constricted. A divorce agreement. Yes, you leave empty-handed. All assets under your name belong to me, including your shares in Tiancheng Real Estate. In exchange, I won't pursue charges of embezzling public funds against you. You're dreaming. He tore the contract to pieces. Shen Qingwan, you think I'll leave empty-handed? You're dreaming. Fine then. I turned and walked into the building. Stop, he shouted from behind. Do you think you can take my company? I'm telling you, Tiancheng Real Estate is mine. I founded it with my own hands. You're an outsider, what right do you have to steal it? I stopped in my tracks and looked back at him. When Mo Tiancheng, you founded Tiancheng Real Estate, the seed capital was 30 million, that 30 million was given to you by me. His face turned white. You, what did you say? You heard right, that 30 million startup fund of yours wasn't a bank loan, it was my personal investment in you. I was the first investor in Tiancheng Real Estate and its largest creditor. That's impossible, that money was from the bank. You can check the business registration, the equity structure, all the legal documents, it's all plainly written. Dingsheng Capital holds 40% of Tiancheng Real Estate's shares and Dingsheng Capital is mine. The rain was loud, but I heard the sound coming from his throat like a dog with its neck being squeezed. Your thriving capital is yours. The Shen family's business, my grandfather founded it, my father manages it, and now I'm in charge. I've been a junior investment advisor in front of you for 3 years. Not because I lack ability, but because I want to see what kind of person you really are. He slumped into the rain. Now I see clearly, you are just a piece of trash. I turned and walked into the building behind me. His howl tore at my heart. Shen Qingwan, you can't treat me like this. I have nothing left. Do you want me to die? I didn't look back. The moment the elevator doors closed, I heard his last words. You will regret this. I pressed the top floor button. When I arrived at the office, Assistant Xiao Chen was already waiting for me. President Shen, Goldman Sachs is ready. We'll start shorting Tiancheng Real Estate when the market opens tomorrow. Good. Also, inform the legal department to reprint the divorce agreement and deliver it to his residence. This time add one more clause. In case he does not sign within 3 days, I will hand the evidence of embezzlement to the prosecutor. Understood. There is one more thing. Lin Xiu has contacted us. Oh, what did she say? She said she knows all of Mo Tiancheng's secrets and is willing to cooperate with us. I laughed. Let her tidy things up and send them to my email if the information is valuable. I don't mind giving her a hardship allowance. Okay, President Shen. I stand in front of the floor-to-ceiling window watching the curtain of rain below. Mo Tiancheng is still kneeling there, motionless like a sculpture. I pick up my phone and take a photo, then I open the Notes app and cross off the first item on the list, freeze the secondary card. Article 2, terminating the investment agreement in progress. Article 3, short selling Tiancheng Real Estate starting tomorrow. Article 4, I deleted Article 4, no need to look for Lin Xiu, she stepped out on her own. Outside the window the rain had lightened. Mo Tiancheng finally stood up, staggering as he walked. His silhouette disappeared around the street corner. I put down my phone, a corner of my mouth curling up. The game has only just begun. Tiancheng Real Estate Boardroom, 9:00 a.m. I sat at the far end of the long table, opposite Mo Tiancheng. He sat at the head of the table, his face pale with anger. Beside him were a few of his loyal high-level executives, each one like sitting on pins and needles. Shen Qingwan, what are you doing here? Mo Tiancheng's voice was low, but his anger was clear. I'm the largest creditor of Tiancheng Estate, holding 40% of the company's shares. Board of directors. Why can't I come? You, also. I opened the file in front of me. According to the company's articles of association, shareholders holding more than 30% of the shares have the right to demand an extraordinary board meeting. I already submitted a written request to the board secretary yesterday. I pushed the document to the center of the desk. There is only one topic today, the issue of a broken funding chain at Tiancheng Real Estate and the accountability of the management. Mo Tiancheng clenched his fists. Funding chain broken, the company's financial status is sound. Where did this funding chain break come from? Is that so? I opened another document. Then I'll ask you, where did the 2 million yuan on the company's books last month go? Those are normal business expenses. Normal business expenses. I slapped a bank statement on the table. These 20 million were transferred out in 3 installments. The first was 8 million to your personal account, the second was 7 million to an account at a Macau casino, the third was 5 million to Lin Xiu's personal account. The conference room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Several executives looked at one another. Some began rifling through their notebooks, pretending not to have heard. You're talking nonsense. Mo Tiancheng suddenly stood up. These transfers are all legal, part of the company's normal business cooperation. Business cooperation? What business cooperation do you have with Macau casinos? What business cooperation do you have with Lin Xiu? Is she your business partner? That's public relations expenses. Lin Xiu is our brand spokesperson. Brand spokesperson. I laughed. Mr. Mo, can you produce the endorsement contract between Lin Xiu and Tiancheng Real Estate? Can you show any publicity she has done for our company? He opened his mouth but couldn't speak. It's impossible to pull it out, right? Because there isn't any at all. You transferred the company's money to your own account, to a casino, to your mistress's account. This is embezzlement of public funds, Article 272 of the Penal Code, with a huge amount punishment of 3 years to 10 years in prison. I flipped the document to the next page, and not only the 200 million in the past 3 years, you have cumulatively siphoned off 120 million from the company vault. 60 million went into your own pocket, 30 million went to Macau and 30 million went to Lin Xiu. The meeting room exploded into chaos. An executive stood up. Mr. Mo, is this true? Another executive directly pulled out a phone. I'm going to call the police. All of you sit down. Mo Tiancheng roared, the veins on his forehead pulsing. Shen Qingwan, you're slandering me with your words. Do you think a few bank statements can prove my guilt? I tell you, the money is all legal. I have complete financial documents. Then show them. What is it? Take out your financial documents and show them to everyone present. For every penny, bring out its purpose, contract, invoices, acceptance sheets, one by one. Her face changed from iron blue to pale. These things are in the finance department. I didn't bring them today. It's all right, I've brought them for you. 80%. You. Mo Tiancheng, is there anything else you want to say? His lips were trembling and his whole body was shaking. Shen Qingwan, are you going to ruin me? Not that I ruined you, you ruined yourself. I turned to another director. Everyone, the current financial situation of Tiancheng Real Estate is very poor. The company has less than 5 million in cash on hand, while debts maturing amount to 100 million. If capital is not injected within 3 days, the company will face bankruptcy. One director asked, Mr. Shen, do you have any advice? Restructure the management, remove the CEO of Tiancheng Real Estate, and the new team I nominate will take over. At the same time, I will inject 50 million in bridge funds into the company to stabilize the situation. You dream. Mo Tiancheng charged forward, slamming his fists onto the table. The company is mine, no one can take it away. Yours. I sneered. How many shares do you still hold? You've already mortgaged your shares to the bank, and now you don't even have 5% of the shares under your name. The real shareholders of this company are me. It is Ding Sheng Capital, and all of you present. You are just a professional manager. The 4 characters professional manager stabbed into his chest like a knife. He staggered, grabbing the table to keep from collapsing. I am the founder. What does being the founder matter? You've turned the company into this, and you still have the nerve to call yourself the founder. I raised the document in my hand. Now begin the vote. Those in favor of terminating Mo Tiancheng's position as CEO, please raise your hand. I was the first to raise my hand. Then there are several independent directors. Then there are several small shareholders. 1, 2, 3. Finally, except for Mo Tiancheng himself and his 2 confidants, everyone else raised their hands. 9 votes in favor, 2 votes against, 1 abstention. The motion passes. I closed the file and stood up. Mr. Mo Tiancheng, from now on you are no longer the CEO of Tiancheng Real Estate. Please hand over the company access card, computer, and all keys, and leave accompanied by security. He stood where he was as if struck by lightning. You can't do this. His voice was hoarse. This is my company. Security. 2 security guards pushed the door open. Please Mr. Mo Tiancheng to leave. The guards moved toward him, 1 on each side, pinning his arms. Let me go. Do you know who I am? I am Mo Tiancheng. This company is mine. He was dragged outside, his legs kicking on the floor. His dress shoes fell off, his socks leaving black marks on the ground. Shen Qingwan, you'll regret this. I'll make you pay. The door of the meeting room shut. His voice cut off outside. I sat down and glanced at the people present. All right, let's discuss the detailed plan for the company's restructuring. After the meeting, I walked out of the building. A group of reporters surrounded the entrance, their long lenses and cameras aimed at me. President Shen, I heard you removed Mo Tiancheng from the CEO position. Is that true, Mr. Shen? Has your marriage with Mo Tiancheng already fallen apart? Mr. Shen, there's a rumor that Mo Tiancheng embezzled company funds. Will you sue him? I stood on the steps, facing the camera. Everyone, regarding personnel changes at Tiancheng Real Estate. We will announce them through official channels. As for my personal relationship with Mr. Mo Tiancheng, that's a private family matter and not something I'm comfortable disclosing publicly. But there is one thing I can tell everyone. I looked at the camera and smiled. From today, Tiancheng Real Estate will enter a new era. We will thoroughly root out all irregular practices and get this company back on the right track. I stepped off the stairs and got into the car. My phone rang. It was Mo Tiancheng. I didn't answer. He sent a WeChat message. Shen Qingwan, just wait, I will turn things around. I replied, how much do you have left in your account? He didn't reply. 5 minutes later he sent, 83,000. How long will that last you? A month? Then spend it sparingly because from now on you won't make another cent. I turned off my phone and leaned back in the chair outside the car window. The night view of Hangzhou was beautiful. I told the driver, take a stroll near the West Lake. The car slowly started moving. I looked at the neon lights outside the window and thought of 3 years ago. Back then Mo Tiancheng was still an entrepreneur with dreams, his eyes shining as he talked to me about his business plan and his ambition to change the real estate industry. I was moved by him and invested 30 million in him. Later, as the company grew, he began to change. First it was luxury spending, then gambling, then women. I warned him, but he didn't listen. He thought he was a genius and that the company's success today was entirely due to him. He forgot that without my money, he is nothing. President Shen, we've arrived. I got out of the car and stood by West Lake. The moon was reflected on the lake's surface. The breeze carried the scent of osman. Thus, I take a deep breath. 3 years have passed, and I finally don't have to pretend anymore. I no longer have to pretend to be a small investment advisor earning 20,000 a month, nor pretend to be a woman who loves him to the point of humiliation, nor endure his humiliations and betrayals. The phone buzzed again. This time it was Assistant Xiao Chen. Mr. Shen, Mo Tiancheng just went to Lin Xiu's house. They argued at the door for half an hour. Lin Xiu changed the door lock and wouldn't let him in. And then he sat downstairs all night calling to borrow money. He made more than 40 calls and no one lent him any money. As expected. One more thing, Lin Xiu sent an email. It contains all the chat records between Mo Tiancheng and her, including the insults he directed at you and his detailed plan to transfer assets. Keep it, it will be useful later. Okay, President Shen. Also, Goldman Sachs has already started. When the market opens tomorrow, Tiancheng Real Estate stock price will plummet. Very good. I hung up the phone and looked at the surface of West Lake. Moonlight spread across the water, making it glitter. I took out my phone and opened the banking app. Main card balance 870,000,000 yuan. Secondary card status reported lost. I smiled and tucked the phone back into my pocket. Mo Tiancheng, you think this is the end? No, this is only the beginning. 1111 Wetlands in Hangzhou, a high-end coffee shop. 2 in the afternoon. I sit by the window opposite Lin Xiu. She wears a Chanel suit, her hair curled into large waves, nails in French mani, wearing a Cartier bracelet on her wrist, all of which I paid for. Sister Shen, what's the matter you're calling me for? Her voice was sickeningly sweet. Don't call me sister, we're not acquainted. Her smile stiffened for a moment, then quickly returned to normal. President Shen, what can I do for you? I directly threw out a document. This is Mo Tiancheng's asset report, take a look. She opened the file, her expression shifting from anticipation to astonishment, then from astonishment to fear. How could this be? Didn't he say the company was worth 5 billion? That was 3 years ago. Now Tiancheng Real Estate is heavily in debt. Its stock price has fallen by 80%, and it is about to delist. That means he still owes me 20 million. 20 million? I laughed. The 20 million he owes you was siphoned from the company's accounts. Now the company wants to reclaim the money. Do you plan to repay in cash or use the house and car as collateral? Her face turned pale. Impossible. He said the company was doing well. He said it would be going public any day now. Go public? He can't even pay the salaries and you want to go public? I lifted the coffee and took a sip. Lin Xiu, I've called you here today to give you an opportunity. What opportunity? Tell me everything you know about Mo Tiancheng, especially the details of how he transfers assets. She hesitated. Why should I tell you? Because if you don't tell me, you are an accomplice to embezzlement. 20 million, enough to sentence you to more than 5 years. Her fingers clenched the cup, knuckles whitening. I don't know anything about asset transfers. Not no. I pulled out my phone and played a recording. Tiancheng, You transfer that 5 million to my account, I'll keep it for you, that way your wife won't be able to find out. The recording is Lin Shiyu's voice, her face turned pale. How could you have this? It's stored on Mo Tiancheng's phone. He's a very cautious person, he records every call. Unfortunately he forgot to delete them. Actually, I had someone restore them from Mo Tiancheng's cloud backup, but that's not important. Now, is there anything else you want to say? She bit her lip and tears fell. General Manager Shen, I was also deceived. He told me that his relationship with his wife was bad, and they would divorce soon, and that he would marry me. His relationship with his wife is bad because his wife found out he took money to support another woman. That woman is you. Alright, cut the act. I'll give you 1 day to think. Either you tell me everything and I help you fill the 20 million hole, or I hand the evidence to the procuratorate and you go explain to the judge yourself. I stood up and set down 200 yuan in cash. I'll treat you to this coffee. I turned and walked away. As I reached the door, I heard her shout from behind, I told you. I didn't look back. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, come to my office, Hangzhou, a luxury apartment. 8 o'clock in the evening, Mo Tiancheng stands at Lin Shiyu's doorstep and knocks hard. Shiyu, open the door, I know you're in there. There is no sound from inside. Shiyu, I beg you, lend me some money, I can't even afford a meal. A slit opened in the door. Lin Shiyu poked her head out. Her face was not makeup, her hair a mess, a complete different person from the afternoon. Meteor Tiancheng, what are you still doing here? Shiyu, I really can't go on. Can you lend me 100,000 first? When I turn things around, I'll return tenfold. Turn your life around. With what are you going to turn your life around? Your company was taken by your wife. You only have 80,000 yuan left in your account, and you still want to turn your life around. I will turn my life around. I know a lot of investors. No investors. Which investor you know isn't after your wife's connections? Mo Tiancheng, can you get a grip? You are nothing, you're just a freeloader. What did you say? I'm telling you, you're just a freeloader. How do you think that company of yours got built? It was your wife's money. Who do you think bought the house you live in, the car you drive, the clothes you wear? Your wife. Do you think I was with you for any reason other than money? Now you have no money. You're worth less than a dog. Mo Tiancheng's face twisted. Lin Shiyu, say that again. I said you're broke and you're a dog, so what? You still want to hit me? Come on, hit me anyway. I've already told your wife everything about you. What did you say? I said I gave your wife all the evidence of your asset transfers. You think I'd keep that secret for you? Dream on, Mo Tiancheng, you're finished. Mo Tiancheng suddenly pushed the door open and rushed in. You wench, or you bitch. Lin Shiyu screamed and dodged backward, knocking over the vase on the coffee table. Are you crazy? Get out, I'm going to call the police. Call the police. Go ahead and call. If you report it, I'll reveal everything about the 30 million I took from you. That 30 million was voluntarily given to me by you. I didn't force you. There was a knock at the door from outside. Property management. Someone has complained about noise bothering residents. Mo Tiancheng releases Lin Shiyu, panting hard. Lin Shiyu takes the opportunity to run to the door and open it. Someone help, he's going to hit me. 2 property guards rush in and restrain Mo Tiancheng. Sir, please calm down. Let me go. I was arguing with my wife. None of your business. Sir, if you don't cooperate, we'll have no choice but to call the police. Mo Tiancheng broke free from the security guard and staggered out the door. He turned his head and looked back at Lin Shiyu at the doorway. You will regret this, Lin Shiyu. I regret meeting you the most. Lin Shiyu slammed the door shut. Mo Tiancheng stood in the corridor, trembling all over. He took out his phone and flipped through his contacts, scrolling down one by one. President Wang, not answering. President Li, not answering. President Zhong, phone off. General Manager Chen, the number you dialed is not in service. He slid to the end and saw my name, Shen Qingwan. He stared at that name for a long time, his finger hovering over the screen. In the end, he still didn't call. He went downstairs and sat on the community bench. The autumn evening was cold with the wind blowing. He wore a thin shirt, huddling his neck like a neglected dog. My phone rang, a text message, your last 4 digits. 3,847 savings card transfer expenditure 83,247, 50 yuan, balance 0.37 yuan. He suddenly stood up. Impossible, where's my money? He stared at the text messages like crazy. Your savings card ending with 3847 received a transfer of 500,000 yuan at 1932. Recipient name Lin Shiyu. Your savings card ending with 3,847 transferred out 500,000 yuan at 1935. Recipient account name Ding Sheng Capital. Lin Xiu, you transferred my money away. He dialed Lin Xiu's phone, it was turned off, dials again, still turned off, called again, the number you dialed is powered off. He threw his phone on the ground and the screen shattered, then he picked it up again, the screen cracked in a spiderweb pattern, but still usable. He opened WeChat and sent me a message. Shen Qingwan, what exactly do you want me to do to let me go? I replied with 3 words. Pay me back. I don't have the money. Then sign. I won't sign. Then wait to go to jail. He stared at the screen, his fingers trembling. In the end he typed a line. Tomorrow I'll come find you. I didn't reply. Hangzhou Dingshan Capital Office, 10 p.m. I stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window gazing at the city's night view. Xiaocheng knocks on the door and comes in. President Shen, Mo Tiancheng's account has been emptied. Only 37,000 remains. Lin Xiu has transferred back the 5 million. She says she is willing to cooperate with us and asks that we not pursue her liability. Tell her that as long as she turns over everything I can drop it, but I can't handle the 20 million that Tiansong Real Estate is suing her for. Understood. Also, Mo Tiancheng is coming to the company tomorrow. Do we need to arrange security? No need, let him come. But, I said no, I want to watch him kneel before me with my own eyes. Xiao Chen opened his mouth slightly, then nodded. Okay, President Shen. The door closed. I picked up a photo on the table taken 3 years ago. In the photo, Mo Tiancheng is wearing a suit, looking vigorous, standing in front of the logo of Tiancheng Real Estate, smiling brilliantly. Back then I stood beside him, dressed in an ordinary professional outfit like an inconspicuous little assistant. Now it seems I was quite accurate with my prophecy. I tore the photo to shreds and threw it into the trash. Tomorrow he will come to beg me, but begging me is useless. From the moment he maxed out my supplementary card and had me ride 30 hours in a hard-seat train, his fate was sealed. Ding Sheng Capital, President's Office, 9:00 in the morning. Mo Tiancheng arrived on time. He wore a shirt that had been washed to the point of fading whiteness, creased trousers, and worn-out shoes with the leather peeling off. He hadn't shaved, his hair was a mess, and there were 2 large dark circles under his eyes. When Xiaocheng brought him in, he stood at the door staring at this office, dazed. Is this your office? Sit. He walked in, looked around, floor-to-ceiling windows, redwood furniture, a famous painting on the wall, and a full set of teaware arranged on the coffee table. Are you really the boss of Dingshan Capital? I told you to sit. He sat on the sofa, body stiff, hands resting on his knees. I sat opposite him, legs crossed, holding a cup of tea. Go on, what do you want with me? Qingwan, call me President Shen. He clenched his teeth. President Shen, I want to talk to you. About what? Talk about reconciliation. Reconciliation. I set down my teacup. How do you propose we reconcile? I'll sign the divorce papers, but you can't sue me and you can't send me to prison. What else? Also, can you give me a sum of money? It doesn't need to be much, 5 million will do. I'll take the money, leave Hangzhou, and never come back. I laughed. Mo Tiancheng, do you think I am easy to talk to? You owe me 688 million and now you tell me to give you 5 million so you can leave. Do you think that's fair? I can give you all the shares. Your shares have long been frozen by the bank. You don't even have 1% of the shares left in your hands. What do you have to give me? His face twitched. So I can work for you. I'll help you pay off the debt to you. You want to work for me. What can you do besides spending money, chasing women, and gambling? What can you do? Shen Qingwan, don't go too far. Me being unreasonable. I stood up. You used my money to support another woman. You made me sit through a 30-hour hard-seat ride. You told others I'm that annoying woman. You tore up our marriage certificate. You said to my face that I'm worthless. So tell me, who is the one being unreasonable? He opened his mouth but couldn't speak. Mo Tiancheng, I'm giving you 2 choices today. First, sign, walk away with nothing, I won't sue you, and you leave Hangzhou on your own. Second, don't sign and I'll hand all the evidence to the prosecutor. You'll go to jail and I'll still get my money back. Your choice. He sat on the sofa, trembling all over. I can't leave with nothing. I have nothing left. You never had it to begin with. Everything you have I gave you. But I'll give you 3 minutes to think it through. I checked my watch and started the timer. A minute later, he lifted his head. I'll sign, but I have one condition. Speak. Let me see her. Let me see Lin Xiu. Why do you want to see her? I want to ask her one question. I was silent for a few seconds. Okay, I'll arrange that. I picked up the phone on the table. Xiao Chen, have Lin Xiu come over. Mo Tiancheng was stunned. Is she here? Yes, she came yesterday and told me everything. The door opened and Lin Xiu walked in. She was dressed in simple clothes without makeup, a far cry from yesterday in the cafe. Xiu, Mo Tiancheng stood up, his voice trembling. Lin Xiu glanced at him, then looked at me. President Shen, may I have a few words with him in private? I nodded and walked out of the office, standing by the door. The door wasn't fully closed and I could hear the conversation inside. Xiu, why are you doing this to me? Because you deceived me. I'm not lying to you, I truly love you. Love me. What do you love about me, my body or my performance in bed? Mo Tiancheng, you've never loved me, you've always treated me as a tool. No, yes. Your wife gives you money, you think she's not beautiful enough or gentle enough. I give you my body, you think I'm asking for too much. What do you really want? Mo Tiancheng, I came today to tell you that your wife has already done everything she could for you. If it were someone else, they would have sent you to prison long ago. Letting you leave with nothing is already very merciful. Merciful, she took everything I own, and you call that merciful? Those things have always been hers, your house, car, company, even the clothes on your back were bought with her money. What do you have that's truly yours? You have nothing. Silence, a very long silence, then I heard Mo Tiancheng's voice, choked with sobs. Xiu, did you ever love me? No, alright, I understand. The door opened and Lin Xiu walked out, her eyes red. President Shen, I finished speaking. I nodded and walked into the office. Mo Tiancheng sat on the sofa, his face covered in tears. Have you made up your mind? I have. Are you signing or not? He picked up the pen on the table, his hand trembling, stroke by stroke. He signed his name. After signing the last character, he collapsed onto the table and cried bitterly. I picked up the divorce agreement, glanced at it and confirmed that there was no error. Alright, you can go now. He stood up, staggering as he walked to the door. Suddenly he turned around, rushed in front of me and dropped to his knees with a thud. Qingwan, I beg you, just give me 1 million, no, 500,000. Let me have something to eat. I looked down at him. Mo Tiancheng, do you know what I was thinking in my heart yesterday when you knelt at the hotel entrance? What is it? I was thinking when you bought Li Xiu a first-class ticket, did you ever consider that I was riding a hard seat? I was wrong. Are you sure you're not mistaken? Do you know where your mistake lies? Your fault isn't that you bought her a first-class ticket. Your fault is that you never regarded me as a person. He lifted his head, his eyes full of bloodshot. In your eyes, I am a cash machine, a tool, a stupid woman you can humiliate at will. You think I love you so you can do whatever you want. You think I can't live without you so you can act recklessly. I didn't. You have it, and it's not just with me. You treat everyone like this. You think you're a genius, that the whole world should revolve around you. When you make money, you think it's because you're superb. When you lose money, you think others harmed you. You never reflect on yourself. Never think there's something wrong with you. I crouched down and looked him in the eye. Mo Tiancheng, do you know why you are the way you are today? Why? Because you don't know how to cherish. You don't cherish money, so you squandered it all. You don't cherish people, so everyone left you. You didn't cherish me, so now I'm standing here watching you kneel on the ground. His tears flowed again. Qingwan, I'll change, I really will change. Too late. I stood up and pressed the button on the table. A security guard pushed the door open and came in. Send Mr. Mo out. Qingwan. By the way, one more thing. I turned around, took a train ticket from the drawer and threw it in front of him. K507, Hangzhou to Beijing, hard seat, 217 yuan. I close the door and walk back to my desk. I pick up the divorce agreement on the table and look at the signature on it. Mo Tiancheng, 3 characters scrawled crookedly, with a severe tremble in the hand. I put the agreement in the drawer and locked it. Outside the window, the sun was just right. I picked up my phone and sent a message to Xiao Chen. Next target, send me the files. 3 seconds later, the phone buzzed. A document was sent over with the title, Stellar Technology, CEO Lu Yuanju suspected of commercial fraud. I opened the file and started reading. Life must go on and the scumbag must keep on being cruel. After all, this is my job. Hangzhou Intermediate People's Court, 9 o'clock in the morning. I sit on the plaintiff's bench opposite Mo Tiancheng. He wears a wrinkled suit. His hair is a mess. He looks much thinner with prominent cheekbones and sunken eye sockets. The judge taps the gavel. The plaintiff Shen Qingwan sues the defendant Mo Tiancheng in a private lending dispute. The court is now in session. My lawyer stood up and opened the documents. Your Honor, the plaintiff Shen Qingwan and the defendant Mo Tiancheng are husband and wife. During the marriage, The plaintiff provided loans to the defendant in her own name totaling 68,800,000 yuan. The defendant has not repaid to date and has used most of those funds for gambling, keeping mistresses, and other illicit activities. The plaintiff asks the court to order the defendant to repay all loans with interest and to bear the litigation costs of this case. The judge looked at Mo Tiancheng. Defendant, what is your opinion on the plaintiff's claims? Mo Tiancheng stood up, hand resting on the table. Your Honor, I never borrowed money from her. That money was voluntarily given to me by her. It is marital property and there is no lending relationship. My lawyer sneered. Your Honor, the plaintiff has evidence. He produced a stack of bank transfer records. This is all records from the past 3 years of transfers from the plaintiff's personal account to the defendant's personal account, a total of 120 transfers, amounting to 68,880,000 yuan. Each transfer has a note clearly stating loan. The judge looked over the records. Defendant, what do you have about this evidence? Mo Tiancheng's face turned pale. Well, those notes were written by her herself. I never agreed to them. You didn't agree. My lawyer pulled out another document. This is a loan note signed in the defendant's own handwriting, a total of 12 sheets, each written clearly, the loan amount, loan date, repayment date, interest, none missing. Mo Tiancheng widened his eyes. No way, I never signed. The bailiff handed him the IOU to read. He glanced at it and froze on the spot. Did I sign this? Yes, these IOUs were all signed by you at different times. For example, this 500 million won was signed when you lost all your money at a Macau casino last March and borrowed money from the plaintiff. This 10 million won was signed when you bought a house for Lin Xiu in August last year. This 8 million won was signed in January this year. Enough. Mo Tiancheng slammed the table. Those IOUs were signed because she forced me to sign them. She said she wouldn't give me the money if I didn't sign. Defendant, please observe court decorum. The judge warned. My lawyer continued. Your Honor, the defendant says the plaintiff forced him to sign the promissory note. Then tell me, defendant, by what means did the plaintiff coerce you, with a knife or with a gun? She coerced me with emotions. She said that if I didn't sign she would divorce me. So, you signed voluntarily. I did not sign voluntarily. Then why didn't you call the police? You didn't call the police because deep down you know the money originally belongs to the plaintiff. You just don't want to return it. You're talking nonsense. The judge rapped the gavel. Order. Defendant, control your emotions. Mo Tiancheng sat down and put his hands on his head. The trial continued for 2 more hours. Finally, the judge announced a recess and set a date for sentencing. As I stepped out of the courthouse, Mo Tiancheng rushed over to block me. Shen Qingwan, what exactly do you want? I've already given up everything. What more do you want? Repay the money. I don't have any money. Then use your life to repay it. He froze. I smiled. Just kidding, the law will help me repay it. I turned and got into the car. The car just left the courthouse and Xiao Chen called. President Shen. Mo Tiancheng just went to 3 banks and all of them rejected him, as expected. Also, he met with more than a dozen investors and not a single one was willing to meet with him. Of course no one will meet him. I've already informed everyone. Whoever helps him will be opposing Ding Sheng Capital. President Shen, there's one more thing. Mo Tiancheng's mother called and said she wants to meet you. Not seeing him. She said if you refuse to see her, she'll go to the company entrance and sit in silence. I was silent for a few seconds. Let her come. Hangzhou, the cafe beneath Dingsheng Capital, 3:00 p.m. Momu sat opposite me, wearing a set of street market clothes, the wrinkles on his face much deeper than 3 years ago. Qingwan, aunt begs you, please spare Tiancheng. Auntie, I call you auntie out of respect, but there's nothing to discuss about Mo Tiancheng. After all, he's your husband. We have already divorced. He left with nothing and he signed his own name. You forced him. I forced him, auntie. Do you know what your son has done? He used my money to support another woman, lost over 30 million in Macau casinos, and even siphoned off the company's funds. I didn't send him to prison. That was already very merciful. Tears fell. Qing, I know Tiancheng owes you an apology, but he's really at his wit's end now. For my sake, please give him a way to survive. Auntie, your face was worth 30 million 3 years ago. Now it's not worth a single cent. Auntie, have you forgotten how you treated me 3 years ago? You said I was a country girl trying to climb the social ladder, that I was a poor, unsophisticated woman unworthy of your son, that he had nothing except money. Her face turned pale. I didn't mean it that way at the time. What do you mean doesn't matter? What matters is that your son's result today is caused by you alone. From childhood you spoiled him, gave him whatever he wanted, never taught him the principles of being a person. He thinks the whole world should revolve around him, thinks money falls from the sky, thinks women are his playthings. The son you spoiled is now bearing the consequences yourself. Do not come to me. I have no obligation to help you tidy up this mess. I stood up and put down 200 yuan. I'll treat you to this cup of coffee in the future. Don't come to me. I turned and walked away. Behind, Momu's crying could be heard. I didn't look back. Back at the office, Xiao Chen brought over a document. President Shen, the court's judgment has been issued. I opened it and glanced at it. The defendant Mo Tiancheng shall, within 10 days from the effective date of this judgment, repay the plaintiff Shen Qingwan the loan principal of 68,808,800 yuan and the corresponding interest if overdue. The plaintiff has the right to apply for enforcement. I laughed. Little Chen, make 3 copies of the verdict, send one to Mo Tiancheng, hand one to the court's enforcement bureau, and deliver one to his mother's home. Understood? And also check where he is living now. All right. 10 minutes later, Xiao Chen called back. President Shen, Mo Tiancheng is currently living in a rented room on the outskirts of the city with a monthly rent of 800. He hasn't eaten for 3 days and has been borrowing money, but no one has lent him any. Did he go look for a job? He did, but no one would take him. His credit record is all black. No company dares hire him. Good, keep watching him. Understood. I hung up the phone and stood by the window. The sun set in the west, and the whole city was dyed golden. I picked up my phone and opened Mo Tiancheng's WeChat. His last moments post was 3 days ago. A photo of the ceiling of his rented room, the plaster peeling away to reveal the red bricks beneath. Caption: the lowest point of my life. I tapped the like button, then we exit. My phone buzzed. It was a message. President Shen. Lu Yuanju from Starchase Technology. Have you finished reviewing the materials? I reply. Finished. I'll arrange a meeting with him tomorrow. Okay, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, Four Seasons Hotel Cafe. I put down my phone and picked up the documents on the desk. Lu Yuanju, CEO of StarTech. 35 years old, on the surface a young entrepreneur but actually engaged in illegal fundraising, has swindled investors' money. Another scumbag. I opened the file and began to read. Outside the window, night has fallen. The city lights come on like glittering diamonds. I smiled. The road to punishing scumbags is still a long one. Hangzhou, on the outskirts of the city, in a rented room. 10 p.m. Mo Tiansong sits on the bed, staring at the judgment in his hand. Return 68.8 million within 10 days. He crumples the judgment and throws it onto the floor. The room is a mess. Instant noodle boxes piled on the table, cigarette butts scattered all over, clothes strewn everywhere. My phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. He picked up the call. Hello. Is this Mr. Mo Tiancheng? I am the legal affairs officer of Dingshan Capital. President Shen asked me to inform you that tomorrow at 9 a.m. come to the company to discuss repayment. I don't have money to repay. Then you can come and discuss other plans. If you don't come, the court will enforce it. You have no assets in your name. The court will list you as a dishonest person subject to enforcement. You will be restricted from high consumption and travel, and you may even be detained. What do you lot really want? We'll know when tomorrow comes. The call ended. Mo Tiancheng stared at his phone, shaking all over. He stood up and walked to the mirror. The person in the mirror was as thin as a skeleton, eyes full of blood, with a scraggly beard and greasy hair. He smiled at the mirror, and his smile was uglier than crying. Mo Tiancheng, how did you end up like this? No one answered him. Dingshan Capital, President's Office, 9:00 in the morning. Mo Tiancheng arrived on time. He wore a borrowed suit 2 sizes too large, with sleeves that were too long. The leather shoes were bargain bin, and they creaked as he walked. When Xiao Chen brought him in, he stood at the door and didn't dare go farther inside. Come in. He stepped inside and stood in front of the desk. Sit. He didn't sit. He stood in place. President Shen, I came to talk about repayment. Okay, how do you plan to repay it? I don't have money. No money? Then what are you here to negotiate? I can work. I'll work for you and pay it back with my wages. How much do you make a month? 5,000. No, 8,000. 8,000. Then how many years do you still need to repay? He counted. About 700 years. I laughed. 700 years? Mo Tiancheng, can you live that long? His face flushed red. So what do you think we should do? I took a document out of the drawer and threw it on the table. Sign it. He picked it up and glanced at it, his pupils suddenly contracted. A share transfer agreement. Didn't you say my shares had already been frozen? They are frozen, but you can voluntarily transfer them as long as you sign. The court can unfreeze them and transfer the shares into my name. This says the transfer price is 1 yuan. Yes, a single yuan. You want me to sell shares worth 30 million for 1 yuan. Your shares are now worthless. Changcheng real estate stock price has already fallen to a few dimes and it's about to be delisted. The shares you hold aren't even worth a single yuan. Then I'm buying it not because it has value but because I don't want it to fall into someone else's hands. He clenched his teeth. I won't sign. Then forget it. I pulled the documents back. Xiao Chen, send the guest away. Wait. He panicked. Let me think about it. Again, there's no time. The court's enforcement order will come down tomorrow. Then you'll be put on the dishonest list. You won't be able to fly, take high-speed trains, stay in hotels, or use credit cards. Your bank cards will be frozen. Your WeChat and Alipay will be restricted. You won't even be able to pay 800 yuan in rent. His face paled. You're forcing me. I'm not forcing you. I'm just telling you the facts. I stood up and walked to the window. Mo Tiancheng, do you know what your biggest problem is? It's not that you lack ability, it's that you lack self-awareness. You always think you're worth a lot, you always think you're somebody, but the reality is, you're nothing. When you founded Tiancheng Real Estate 3 years ago, the seed money came from me. The company survived because I kept injecting capital. You made a name for yourself in the industry because I paved the way for you behind the scenes. Without me, you are nothing. I turned around and looked at him. Now, you've finally seen yourself clearly. You're just an ordinary person. No, you're not even as much as an ordinary person. Ordinary people at least have credit, a job, friends. What do you have? You have nothing. He stood where he was, tears streaming down his face. Call me President Shen. Mr. Shen, I'm begging you, just give me a way to live. I'll give you a way out sign, then get out of Hangzhou. This is your only way to survive. He stood there, shaking all over, then he slowly knelt down, kneeling in front of me. President Shen, I beg you, just leave me a little, even 1%. No, 1 in 1,000th. No, 1 in 10,000th. Mo Tiancheng, do you not understand human speech? I said it's not allowed. He knelt on the ground, his forehead touching the floor. President Shen, I know I was wrong. I shouldn't use your money to support other women. I shouldn't have made you sit in hard economy class. I shouldn't have torn up the marriage certificate. I shouldn't badmouth you outside. I'm wrong, I really was wrong. That doesn't help. So what do you want me to do then? I want you to remember how you feel today. He lifted his head, face full of tears. What does it feel like? The feeling of kneeling on the ground, the feeling of being stepped on under someone's foot, the feeling of having nothing at all. I squatted down and looked at him. Meeten Cheng, 3 years ago when you knelt down to propose to me, you said you would be good to me for life. I believed you. And what happened? You treated me as a fool, as an ATM, as a punching bag. You made me sit on a hard seat for 30 hours while your white moonlight sat in first class. Do you know how I endured those 30 hours on the train? I sat on the hard seat, a snoring uncle on my left, a child who cried all night on my right. The air smelled of instant noodles, the toilet was clogged, water everywhere. I hadn't closed my eyes for 30 hours, hadn't eaten a bite. He lowered his head. And you were in the first class, drinking champagne, holding your white moonlight, enjoying the best service. You even sent me photos asking me, how are things over there? Do you know what I was thinking at that moment? I was thinking, this man isn't worth me being kind to. From that moment on, I decided I would ruin you. He looked up, his eyes full of fear. So, you were planning from the very beginning? Yes, from the moment on the train I started planning. Freeze the secondary card, withdraw funds, short the stock, unite the board, sue you, and kick you out with nothing. Every step was carefully designed by me. Why, you're too scary. Am I scary? Mo Tianxing, when you used my money to support other women, why don't you think you're scary when you made me sit for 30 hours in a hard seat? Why don't you think you're scary when you tore up the marriage certificate? Why don't you think you're scary? He couldn't speak. I stood up and threw the documents in front of him. Sign. I don't want to say it a second time. He knelt on the ground and picked up the pen. His hand trembled, and the tip of the pen drew crooked lines on the paper. Stroke by stroke, he signed his name. After signing, he collapsed to the ground like a pile of mush. I picked up the document and took a look. All right, you can go now. He stood up, staggering as he walked to the door. Suddenly he turned around and asked me a question. Shen Qingwan, have you ever loved me? I looked at him and was silent for 3 seconds. No, he smiled, a smile uglier than crying. I understand. He pushed the door open and walked out. His footsteps echoed down the corridor, growing farther and fainter. In the end, there was nothing to hear. I sit on the chair, looking at the document in my hand outside the window. Sunlight streams in, shining on the document. The name of Mo Tiancheng appears especially glaring in the sunlight. I take a deep breath and place the document in the drawer. Then he picked up his phone and dialed a number. Xiao Chen, Lu Yuanju from Xingchen Tech, tomorrow at 10 a.m. be on time, okay. President Shen. I hung up the phone and leaned back in my chair. After one round of abuse, there's another. The scumbags in this world will never be wiped out, but it doesn't matter, I have plenty of time. Hangzhou Zhejiang Satellite TV Studio, 8 o'clock in the evening. I sat in the guest seats. Opposite me was the host, and beside him were 3 commentators. The camera was on me, the red light glowing. The host smiled and began, "Welcome to Financial Face to Face. Today we're honored to have Ms. Shen Qingwan, President of Dingshen Capital. Ms. Shen, your recent dispute with Mr. Mo Tiancheng of Tiancheng Real Estate has attracted a lot of attention online. Could you talk to us about it? Alright, first. There are many rumors online that you seized control of Tiancheng Real Estate through improper means. How do you respond to that? I look into the camera. I didn't use any improper means. I legally obtained the control of Tiancheng Real Estate. Mr. Mo Tiancheng embezzled public funds, diverted assets, and kept mistresses, and there is evidence of all of that. As the largest shareholder and creditor of the company, I have the right to remove his CEO from office. Commentator A asks, Ms. Shen, some people say you are getting revenge on your ex-husband because he has a woman outside the marriage. Is that true? Revenge? I laughed. Why should I revenge him? Is he worth it? Then why are you doing this? Because he owes me money, 68,880,000, not a penny less. I don't care whether he is my ex-husband or a stranger, debts must be repaid, it's only natural. Commentator B asked, but you are husband and wife after all, by forcing him to the brink aren't you being a little too heartless? Heartless. I looked at him. Sir, if your wife used your money to support her lover, made you sit through 30 hours on a hard seat train, and tore up your marriage certificate in front of you, what would you do? Commentator B opened his mouth but said nothing. You would be even crueler than I am. The host asked again, Mr. Shen, Mr. Mo Tiancheng's situation is said to be very bad right now. Reportedly he's penniless and living in a rented room with a monthly rent of 800 yuan. What are your thoughts on that? Impressions? None. His situation today is of his own making. No one forced him to gamble, no one forced him to embezzle public funds, no one forced him to keep a mistress. These were all his own choices. But everyone must pay the price for their choices. He chose betrayal, so he must bear the consequences of betrayal. He chose greed, so he must suffer the cost of greed. He chose deceit, so he must endure the punishment of deceit. I paused. That's fair, commentator C asked. President Shen, some people online call you the cruelest ex-wife. Do you mind that label? I don't mind. If ruthless means defending my legitimate rights, then I am ruthless. If ruthless means making bad people pay the price, then I am ruthless. If ruthless means giving hope to all the women who have been bullied, then I am ruthless. I smiled at the camera. And not only am I tough on my ex-husband, I am ruthless toward all scum. Applause echoed in the studio. On the night the show aired, the internet exploded. Weibo hot search top, Shen Qingwan's most ruthless ex-wife, hot search second, Mo Tiancheng hard seat, hot search third, Dingshen Capital, My phone blew up. Countless media invitations for interviews, countless women saying sister is too cool, countless men saying this woman is terrifying. I didn't reply to a single one. Xiao Chen rushed into the office, his face flushed with excitement. President Shen, our view count has surpassed 50 million. The whole internet is talking about you, and also reporters found Mo Tiancheng's rental house. There are dozens of reporters at the door. He doesn't dare to go out. Serves him right. Moreover, Mo Tiancheng's mother was crying at the neighborhood gate, calling you a cruel woman, and netizens blasted her for it. I lift my head. What did she say? She said you ruined her son and that you deserve a terrible death. As a result, netizens found out that 3 years ago she accepted 3 million filial piety fees transferred by Mo Tiancheng, a sum siphoned from the company accounts. I laughed. Netizens are more efficient than I am. There's something even more explosive. Xiao Chen pulled out his phone. Lin Xiu just posted a Weibo exposing all the chat records between Mo Tiancheng and her. I took the phone and glanced at it. Lin Shiyu's Weibo at Lin Shiyurial. Regarding Mr. Mo Tiancheng, I'd like to say a few things first. I did have a relationship with him, but that was under the condition that he concealed his married status. Second, all the money he gave me came from him willingly. I never asked for it. Third, I have returned all the money, not a single penny kept. Fourth, I apologize to Ms. Shen Qingwan. I'm sorry. Attached are 9 screenshots of chat records. Mo Tiancheng said in the chat, "My wife is just a fool. I can bluff her with a couple of meaningless words and she'll believe it. Don't worry, she won't dare divorce me. She can't live without me. When I get her money, I'll run away with you far and high. What is she? Just a country bumpkin. If it weren't for money, who would want her?" All the comments are insulting him. Scum, trash, this kind of man ought to die. I put my phone down. Little Chen, save Lin Shiyu's Weibo for now, it might be useful later. Okay, President Shen. And also keep watching Mo Tiancheng's side. If he dares to cause trouble, report it to the police immediately. Understood. Xiao Chen went out. I leaned back in the chair and closed my eyes. The phone buzzed again. It is a WeChat message from an unfamiliar number. "Shen Qingwan, you will reap what you sow." I replied, "You're probably Mo Tiancheng's mother, right, auntie? If you have time to insult me here, you should urge your son to find a job and start over. He can't find a job, it's all your fault." "Me, auntie, your son ruined his own credit. What does that have to do with me? If it weren't for you spreading his bad words everywhere, how could anyone want him? I never spoke ill of him, I only stated the facts. The fact is, he embezzles company funds, keeps mistresses, and is a gambling addict, a scumbag. Any company that hires him is being irresponsible to its shareholders." "You, auntie, I still have a meeting to attend, so I have to go. Wishing you good health." I blocked that number. Outside the window, the city's night view was beautiful. I stood up and walked to the window. Downstairs, a couple was taking a walk. The girl linked arms with the boy and was smiling happily. I watched them for a few seconds, then turned back to my desk. I picked up the Staratech materials and continued reading. Lu Yuanju, 35, CEO of Staratech. On the surface he ran an AI company, but in reality he was running an illegal fundraising scheme. He had already cheated over 300 investors, with the amount involved exceeding 200 million. I flipped to the last page. In red letters across it was written, "Target locked, action pending approval." I picked up a pen and put a check in the approval box. Then she picked up her phone and dialed a number. "Hello. Is this Mr. Lu? I'm Shen Qingwan from Dingshan Capital. Are you free tomorrow? I'd like to talk to you about investment." A greasy voice came from the other end. "Ms. Shen, I've heard of you for a long time. Tomorrow I'm free." "Of course I'm free. Tell me a place." 3:00 p.m. tomorrow at my office. Okay, I will definitely be on time." I hung up the call and threw my phone onto the desk. A cold smile curled at the corner of my mouth. Another prey hooked. Suburban Hangzhou, an abandoned factory at 10 o'clock at night. Mo Tiancheng stands at the factory gate, gripping a fruit knife in his hand. His eyes are bloodshot, and he is on the verge of collapse. The phone screen is lit up with a message from Lin Shiyu. "Tiancheng, I'm at the abandoned factory in the east part of the city. I found some illegal evidence against Shen Qingwan. You can come and take it. It could bring her down." He read that message again, his fingers trembling. Bring her down, bring her down." He pushed open the factory's iron gate and it was all black inside. "Shiyu, where are you?" No one answered. He turned on the flashlight of his phone and walked inside. The ground was covered with dust and broken glass. The ceiling had rusty iron beams, and the walls were smeared with all sorts of patterns. Poetry. Still no one answered. He walked to the center of the factory and suddenly the lights brightened. Dozens of lamps lit up at the same time, making it hard for him to keep his eyes open. "Who?" He squinted and saw someone standing across from him. It was me, Shen Qingwan. I stood under the light with a dozen police officers behind me. "Mo Shencheng, what are you doing here with a knife?" He looked down at the fruit knife in his hand, flustered. I came to find Lin Shiyu. She invited me here." "Lin Shiyu, when did she invite you?" He took out his phone and opened that message. "Look, she messaged me saying she has evidence of your wrongdoing." I glanced at his phone and smiled. "Mo Tiancheng, look who the sender of that message is." He glanced at it and froze on the spot. This is a number you don't recognize, right? You've never saved Lin Shiyu's new number, because you stopped contact with her long ago. I had someone send this message from a fake number. You set up a trap to frame me." "Frame you? Did I tell you to bring a knife to the factory? Did I tell you to sneak onto private property in the middle of the night with a weapon?" Mo Cheng, the knife in your hand is the best evidence. Breaking into private property with a weapon, intending to commit violence, how do you think the police will see it? His face paled. No, it's not like that, I was tricked into coming. Tricked into coming, the knife in your hand was tricked into being bought, the mask in your pocket was tricked into being worn, the sneakers on your feet were tricked into being worn. He opened his mouth but couldn't speak. A police officer walked over. Mr. Mo Cheng, you are suspected of illegally trespassing on private property, possessing a deadly weapon and intending to commit homicide. Please come with us. No, I didn't, I've been framed. Two policemen took him by the arms. Let go of me, do you know who I am? We know, Mr. Mo Cheng, you are already on our high-priority watch list. He was dragged outside, frantically struggling. Shen Qingwan, you bitch, you're framing me. I stood in place, watching him be dragged away. When he reached the doorway, he suddenly stopped and glanced back at me. Shen Qingwan. Why are you doing this to me? I walked up to him and looked at him. Mo Cheng, do you remember something you once said to me? What sentence? You said, Shen Qingwan, who do you think you are? You're nothing but a rich bitch. His face twitched. That was just hot air, hot words or angry words. You said this in front of all your friends. You had me humiliated in front of more than 30 people, utterly ashamed. Did you feel really at the time? Did you feel prestigious? Did you think that by insulting me you could prove you're stronger than me? He couldn't speak. Mo Cheng, I'm telling you today, you're not better than me, you're dirtier than me, you have no principles, and I have no bottom line. If you use my money to support a woman, I'll leave you penniless. If you humiliate me, I'll make you kneel on the ground. If you try to kill me, I'll put you in prison. I take a step back. Take him away. The police drag him out. Outside the factory, 3 police cars are parked, their red and blue lights flashing. Mo Cheng was stuffed into a police car. The door slammed shut. Through the car window, he looked at me, his eyes filled with fear and despair. I stood at the factory gate looking at him, then I laughed, made a mouth shape at him. Be more careful in your next life. The police car drove away, fading into the night. I pulled out my phone and dialed a number. Xiao Chen, the matter is settled. President Shen, are you all right? Are you okay? How is Lin Xiu? Over there. She has left Hangzhou, gone to Shenzhen. Following your instructions, I gave her 200,000 to start over. What about the court? The procuratorate has already filed a case. Mo Cheng barged into private property with a knife, and combined with embezzling public funds and commercial fraud previously, multiple crimes punished together, at least more than 10 years. Very good. I hung up the phone and stood at the factory gate. The wind blew in, bringing the cool of autumn. I looked up at the sky. The stars were very bright. Take a deep breath. Then turn and walk toward the car parked by the roadside. The driver opens the door. Mr. Shun, going home? No, back to the company. It's this late to go back to the company. There is work to do. The car started moving. I leaned back in the chair and closed my eyes. A look flashed in my mind of Mo Cheng being shoved into the police car. Fear, despair, and unwillingness. I suddenly remembered 3 years ago the way he knelt down to propose to me. At that time, his eyes were full of light and he said he would treat me well for a lifetime. I believed him. And then I opened my eyes and looked at the night scenery rushing by outside the car window. A cold smile curled at the corners of my mouth. Believe the lies of men less than believe in yourself. The car stopped in front of Ding Shun Capitol building. I got out of the car and walked into the building. The elevator reached the top floor and the door opened. The corridor was very quiet, only the sound of my high heels tapping on the floor. I push open the office door and turn on the light. I walk to the desk and sit down. I picked up the Staritech dossier on the table and opened to the first page. Lu Yuanju, 35, CEO of Staritech. I took up a pen and wrote 2 characters on the first line. Act. Then I picked up my phone and dialed a number. President Lu, this is Shen Qingwan. Don't forget our appointment tomorrow at 3 p.m. President Shen, of course I won't forget. I am already prepared. Okay, see you tomorrow. I hung up the phone and threw my cell on the table outside the window. The city is sleeping, and I have only just begun. Hangzhou Intermediate People's Court, Criminal Trial Court, 9 o'clock in the morning. The courtroom is full of people, reporters, observers, and Mo Cheng's family and friends. I am seated at the witness stand, facing Mo Cheng at the defendant's seat. He is wearing an orange prison uniform, his head shaved, the whole person emaciated to the bone, eye socket sunken, cheekbones protruding. The judge knocks the gavel. Court is now in session. The defendant, Mok Tiancheng, is charged with embezzlement, commercial fraud, and intentional injury. A public trial is now in progress. The prosecutor stood up. Your Honor, the prosecutor accuses the defendant, Mo Tiancheng, of the following crimes. First, embezzlement. While serving as CEO of Tiancheng Real Estate, the defendant, taking advantage of his position, embezzled 120 million yuan of the company's funds to be used for illegal activities such as gambling and maintaining mistresses. Second, commercial fraud. The defendant, through forged financial statements and fictitious projects, defrauded investors of 360 million yuan. Third, intentional injury. The defendant entered someone else's private property with a knife, intending to commit a homicide. The circumstances are extremely serious. The judge looked at Mo Tiancheng. Defendant, do you have any objections to the prosecutor's allegations? Mo Tiancheng stood up, gripping the railing of the defendant's bench with both hands. Judge, I didn't embezzle funds. That money is rightfully mine. I founded the company. I have the right to dispose of its funds. The prosecutor sneered. Defendant, you say you have the right to dispose of the company's funds, then tell me, transferring the company's money to a Macau casino, was that also your right as CEO? That was a business trip. Business trip. You inspected a casino for 3 days and nights and lost 8 million. That's a business trip. Laughter rippled through the courtroom. Silence. The judge rapped his gavel. Defendant, please answer the prosecutor's question. Mo Tiancheng's face flushed red. The prosecutor continued. Your Honor, the prosecution has substantial evidence proving the defendant's crimes. I ask permission to call the first witness, Ms. Shen Qingwan. The judge nodded. Call the witness Shen Qingwan. I stood up, walked to the witness stand and sat down. The prosecutor asked, Ms. Shen, what is your relationship with the defendant? Former spouses. During the marriage, did you provide financial support to the defendant? Yes, I lent the defendant a total of 68.8 million yuan in my personal capacity. In addition, I invested 5 billion yuan into Tiancheng Real Estate through Dingshan Capital. Has the defendant ever returned this money? No, he hasn't paid back a single cent. What did the defendant do with this money? Part of it was used for company operations, but most of it was embezzled by him, including gambling, keeping mistresses, purchasing luxury goods, and traveling around the world. The prosecutor produced a stack of documents. Your Honor, these are bank transfer records, promissory notes, receipts of expenses, and other evidence provided by Ms. Shen. Please admit them into the record. The bailiff handed the documents to the judge. The judge flipped through them and nodded. Adopted. The prosecutor continued. Ms. Shen, has the defendant ever threatened or used violence against you? Yes, in October last year he barged into my private property with a knife, intending to hurt me. There were police on the scene at the time, and he was arrested on the spot. What is your view on this matter? I looked at Mo Tiancheng. He stood on the defendant's bench, trembling all over. My view is that the defendant has lost his sanity. He has committed crimes not only financially but also in his conduct. He is a dangerous person and should be severely punished by the law. Do you have anything else to add? Yes, I turned around and faced the judge. Your Honor, what I want to say is that Mr. Mo Tiancheng was once a very promising entrepreneur. He had ability, ambition, and resolve, but he was blinded by greed and desire. He thought he could act with impunity, squander other people's money at will, and trample on other people's feelings. I paused. He was wrong. The law will not let him go, and justice will not let him go. I stand here today not for revenge against him but to show everyone that whoever commits a crime must pay the price. Applause rang through the courtroom. Silence. The judge struck the gavel. Mo Tiancheng suddenly rushed over and collided with the railing of the defendant's dock. Shen Qingwan, you bitch! You ruined me. Bailiffs rushed forward and held him down. Let me go, I'm going to kill her. The judge rapped the gavel. Defendant, observe courtroom decorum. If there is another outburst, I will order you removed from the courtroom. Mo Tiancheng was pressed back into his seat. Panting heavily, the prosecutor continued to call other witnesses. Lin Xiu did not appear in court, but she submitted a written testimony detailing how Mo Tiancheng used company money to buy her a house, a car, and luxury goods. Mo's mother appeared in court, crying and saying her son had been ruined by me. But the judge ignored her. The trial lasted 6 hours. Finally, The judge announced a recess and set a date for sentencing. A week later, the court delivered its verdict. I sat in the gallery looking at Mo Tiancheng in the dock. The judge read out the written judgment. The defendant Mo Tiancheng was convicted of the crime of embezzlement and sentenced to 8 years imprisonment, convicted of the crime of commercial fraud and sentenced to 5 years imprisonment, convicted of the crime of intentional injury and sentenced to 3 years imprisonment. The sentences for multiple crimes are to be served concurrently with a combined term of 15 years imprisonment, deprivation of political rights for 3 years, order the defendant to repay the victim Shen Qingyuan economic losses of 68,808,800 yuan, and to repay other investors' economic losses of 360 million yuan. The judge struck the gavel. Court is adjourned. Mo Tiancheng stood at the defendant's seat, his entire body collapsing. His lips were trembling and tears streamed down. 15 years, 15 years. The bailiff came over to take him away. Wait, he suddenly shouted. Let me say something to her, just one sentence. The judge hesitated for a moment, then nodded. The bailiffs escorted him to stand before me. He looked at me, tears streaming down. Qing Wn, can you forgive me? I looked at him. Mo Tiancheng, do you know why I want you to go to prison? Why? It's not because you took my money, not because you kept another woman, not because you spoke ill of me. Why is that? Because you never treated me like a person. In your eyes, I was just a tool to give you money, to cook for you, to warm your bed. You never cared about my feelings, never cared about what I wanted, never cared whether I was happy. You only care about yourself, your money, your women, your face. Apart from that, nothing else. I stood up, leaned close to his ear, and whispered a sentence. His pupils suddenly constricted, and he lunged at the railing as if driven mad. Shen Qingyuan, what did you say? Say it again. The bailiff held him down tightly. Let go of me. What did she say? What did she just say? He was dragged away, and his howls echoed down the corridor. The judge and the spectators were looking at me. Wondering what I had said, I did not explain. I turned and walked out of the courtroom. At the entrance, reporters swarmed around. CEO Shen, what did you just say to Mo Tiancheng? CEO Shen, are you satisfied with his verdict? CEO Shen, what are your plans next? I stood on the steps, facing the camera. What I just told him was, I will be very happy every day you spend in prison. The reporters were stunned. I smiled, stepped off the steps and got into the car. The car drove away from the rearview mirror. I saw the courthouse building growing farther and smaller. My phone rang. It was Xiao Chen. President Shen Lu Yuanju from Xingchen Technology has scheduled for 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Okay, also the data for the next target is ready. Should I send it to you now? Send it. The phone buzzed, and a document was delivered. I opened it and took a look. Zhao Mingxian, 42 years old, chairman of Mingxian Group, suspected. I closed the file and leaned back in my chair outside the window. The sun was just right. I closed my eyes and a hint of a smile tugged at the corner of my mouth. Abusing scum, always on the road. 1 year later, Hangzhou, prospering capital, new office. I stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window, overlooking the entire city. It has been a year since Tiancheng Real Estate was successfully restructured and renamed Dingsheng Real Estate, becoming a wholly owned subsidiary of Dingsheng Capital. Mo Tiancheng is serving his sentence in prison and reportedly behaved well, resulting in a 1-year reduction in his sentence. Lin Xiu opened a flower shop in Shenzhen, and business is going pretty well. Mo's mother returned to her hometown and never came back to look for me. Everything is over. Xiaocheng knocks on the door and comes in. General Shen, there's a message. Speak. Mo Shenteng has been released from prison, 1 year off the sentence, released yesterday. I turn around. That fast? He behaved well in prison and received 2 more sentence reductions. Where is he now? Huangzhou. After he was released from prison yesterday, he first went to his mother's house, but his mother wouldn't let him in. Then he went to see a few former friends, and none of them were willing to see him. Where is he living now? He hasn't found a place to live yet. The money on him is only enough to stay in a hotel for 2 days. I was silent for a few seconds. Has he ever come to see me? No, but he went to the Dingsheng Real Estate building this morning, stood at the entrance for half an hour, then left. What did he go there for? I don't know, maybe he wanted to look for a job. I smiled. Look for a job, what can he do? President Shen, one more thing, he might come to our company this afternoon. I heard he's been asking around for your contact information. Let him come. President Shen, are you sure? Sure, I also want to see whether he's changed after a year. 3:00 p.m. I sit in the office, looking out the window. Downstairs, a thin man stands at the main door wearing a set of old clothes with tousled hair. It is Mo Tiancheng. He stood there hesitating for a long time, then he slowly knelt down, kneeling at the company entrance. Xiao Chen rushed in. President Shen, he's kneeling at the door. Should we call security? No need. But, I said no. I stood up, walked to the window, and looked down at him. He knelt there, head bowed like a dog. Pedestrians downstairs stopped to crowd around, some taking photos, some pointing and talking. I picked up the phone on the table and went downstairs. The gate opened and I walked out. The high heels pressed onto the floor, making a crisp sound. Mo Tiancheng looked up, and at the moment he saw me, tears streamed down. Qing Wn. Call me General Manager Shen. President Shen, I'm begging you, give me a job. I'm willing to do anything. I stood in front of him, looking down at him. What can you do? I can manage a company. The company you run went bankrupt. I can do business. The business you do is all illegal. I will. What can you do? Tell me, what exactly can you do? He opened his mouth but couldn't speak. Mo Tiancheng, it's been a year. Have you learned anything in prison? I have learned something. What is it you've learned? I was wrong. I was really wrong. You were wrong. Where did you go wrong? I shouldn't have taken your money. Shouldn't have kept other women. Shouldn't have let you sit in the hard seat. I shouldn't have. What else? And also I shouldn't have. What shouldn't you have done? Shouldn't you look down on me? Shouldn't you humiliate me? Shouldn't you treat me like a fool? He lowered his head, tears dripping onto the ground. Yes, I shouldn't have. Mo Tiancheng, do you know your biggest problem isn't what you've done wrong, it's that you've never known where you were wrong. I crouched down and looked him in the eye. You think you're wrong because you lost. If you hadn't lost, if you were still the CEO of Tiancheng Real Estate now, still rich, would you still think you were wrong? He didn't speak. You won't. You'll keep squandering my money, keep supporting other women, and keep bad-mouthing me to others. You'll act like everything is owed to you because you're successful. You don't really know you're wrong. You're just scared. You fear poverty. You fear no one will pay attention to you. You fear living alone by yourself. He looked up, face full of tears. Qingwan, I really know I'm wrong. So what if you know you're wrong? Do you think knowing you're wrong can make up for the hurt you caused me? Do you think knowing you're wrong can return the money to me? Do you think knowing you're wrong can make time go backward so I wouldn't have had to endure those 30 hours in the hard seat? He couldn't speak. I stood up, pulled a 100 yuan bill from my pocket, and tossed it in front of him. Take it, go buy something to eat. He stared at the 100, trembling all over. You're giving me charity. Not charity, it's pity. Mo Tiancheng, do you know why I gave you this 100 yuan? Why? Because I want you to remember that your current worth is 100 yuan. No, you're not even worth 100 yuan. His face twisted. Shen Qingwan, what did I say? Did I say something wrong? You're penniless now, no job, no friends, no family. You don't even have a place to live, can't even afford a meal. Tell me, how much are you worth? He opened his mouth but couldn't speak. You're worthless. You're not worth a single cent. I bent over and leaned close to his ear. Mo Tiancheng, I'll say one last thing to you. What? Be more careful in your next life. I straightened up and turned to walk into the building. Shen Qingwan, he shouted from behind. Aren't you afraid I'll take revenge on you? I stopped in my tracks and looked back at him. Take revenge on me? With what will you take revenge? You can't even afford a knife right now. What could you possibly use to take revenge on me? He knelt on the ground, trembling all over. I will turn my life around. I will definitely turn my life around. Turn your life around? Can you even turn it around? Your credit record is black. Your name is notorious in the industry. You can't even get a cleaning job, and you still want to turn your life around. Mo Tiancheng, wake up. Your life is over. It's not because of me. It's because of you. You chose the wrong path, and you must bear the consequences. I turned around and walked into the building. His sobs came from behind me. The security guard walked over. Sir, please leave. This is private property. I'm leaving. I want to see Shen Qingwan. Sir, if you don't leave, I will have to call the police. Call them then. Let the police arrest me. I've been to jail before anyway. The security guards glanced at each other, one on the left and one on the right, holding his arms. Let go of me. Do you know who I am? I understand, Mr. Mo Tiancheng. You are already on our blacklist. He was dragged away and disappeared around the corner. I stood in the hall, looking outside through the glass door. Pedestrians dispersed and the street returned to calm. Little Chen walked over. President Shen, the car is ready. Okay. I walked out of the building and got into the car. The car started moving. I saw from the rearview mirror that Mo Chancheng was sitting on the steps by the roadside, head down, shoulders shaking, his hand still clenched the 100 yuan bill. I shifted my gaze away and leaned back against the chair. The phone rang, a message from Xiao Chen. President Shen, the information for the next target has already been sent to your email. I opened my email and clicked the attachment. Zhao Mingxian, 42 years old, chairman of Mingxian Group, suspected of illegal fundraising, contract fraud, and harassing female subordinates. I glanced at a few lines and a smile curved at the corners of my mouth. Xiao Chen, arrange a meeting with President Zhao tomorrow. Okay, President Shen, what time? 10 o'clock in the morning. Understood. I turned off my phone and leaned back in the chair. The night view of Hangzhou outside the window was beautiful. Neon lights flicker, traffic flows endlessly. I close my eyes, and scenes from this year flash through my mind. Mo Chancheng kneeling at the hotel entrance, Mo Chancheng breaking down in court, Mo Chancheng being taken away in prison, Mo Chancheng kneeling at the company entrance. Every scene makes me feel that these 3 years of endurance weren't in vain. The car stopped. President Shen, we've arrived. I opened my eyes. It was an upscale restaurant. I'm meeting a friend for dinner tonight. I got out of the car, straightened my clothes, and walked into the restaurant. The waiter at the door smiled. President Shen, good evening, your friends have arrived. Thank you. I walked in and saw a few old friends sitting in the private room, smiling and waving at me. Qingwan, quick, come over. We've been waiting for you. I smiled and walked over, taking a seat. You're in a good mood today, my friend said. Of course it's great. I lifted my glass. After trashing a scumbag, I'm naturally in a good mood. Everyone laughed, clink glasses and drink outside the window. The city's night view is brilliant. I lean back in the chair, a small smile tugging at the corner of my mouth. Life goes on, the scumbag keeps appearing, and I am still being cruel. This is my work and also my happiness. Cheers. The end.